Manios Calgar, chapter master of the Ultramarines, is not only a consummate warrior, but also a highly talented strategist, who led his chapter to great triumphs. He is master of Ultramar, a vast swath of space in the embattled eastern fringe, and the homeworld of the Ultramarines. After crossing the Rubicon Primaris, Calgar has become mightier still. Clad in the armor of Heracles, a Mark X Gravis power armor, and with the mighty gauntlets of Ultramar, Calgar is a formidable sight on the battlefield. Manios Calgar is the legendary character of the Ultramarines, which you can get by farming him in the Indomitus Mirror campaign. There are also a lot of shards of him handed out this month, between his battle pass this month, as well as the Ultramar event, and his shards will also be included in this year's Red Gobbo event. Getting him will take some time, but as Calgar was one of the primary buffers in the game and still enjoys a lot of utility, it's worth it. With the recent battle pass, he got some small updates, so I took that opportunity to take a closer look at him today. Calgar is one of the premier defensive characters in game. His health is above average at place 35, along the lines of Carian, Titus or Rask, which gives him some decent bulk. His armor is slightly below average at place 45, like Asgore or Harkin. This doesn't sound very good, but especially against low pierce attacks, his Mark X Gravis armor will pay off, needing damage to go through armor a second time. You know Bellator, famously defensive Inceptor Sergeant? Calgar has around 50% more armor than him, so this is one tough customer. This defensive focus is also mirrored in his equipment choice, including a block item and a block booster. His movement of 3 is pretty high for a Gravis character, but only average overall. When your enemy finally brings him down, Calgar will hit him a last time with his final vengeance trait, as long as he isn't overkilled. This combines well with the brand new Crushing Strike trait he just got, which adds 50% to his normal melee damage when he didn't move this turn. If he dies, he won't have moved that turn, making sure his last hit will be a big one. Now, this was a sorely needed change, as Calgar generally did lack in the damage department. This was remedied too in this update with his 40% damage buff. Fitting, with his 2 fists he sports 2 hits of power damage. Power, as always, has a middle-of-the-road pierce ratio, so his old damage against highly armored targets was only place 69. This update sees him jump up to above average damage, at place 52 now, comparable to Rotbone, just behind Asgore. Comparatively against no armor, his damage before was quite lackluster at 78, which now jumped to place 55, right between Rotbone and Janesar. When battle starts in earnest and Calgar has the opportunity to use his Crushing Strike, this damage will definitely be solid enough now. His active, Gauntlets of Ultramar, allows him to once per game use a shooting attack, which will hit all enemies within 2 hexes. Yes, all of them. This can potentially hit 18 hexes if he's fully surrounded, and can help you to quickly dissolve great amounts of weak enemies. While his interaction with Ragnar has been removed, it didn't make much sense anyways, and Calgar still can dish out some great amounts of damage with his active. Every enemy adjacent to him suffers 2 hits of bolter damage, around 70% higher than his normal attacks damage. The outer ring of foes will be only hit once. Those attacks are bolter damage though, so they won't help you as well against highly armored enemies with their lower pierce ratio. But low armored summons and generic enemies will melt in droves, which makes him great in most horde modes. His passive, Rites of Battle, is what gives Calgar most of his significance. With it, adjacent fighters gain damage on all of their attacks, on a level with Eltrion's buff, which is always a good reference point. The higher buff Calgar deals out to friendly Imperials is even higher than Eltrion's Eldar buff. As it applies to way more targets too, this seems to be the strictly better buff, doesn't it? Positioning can be easier for Eltrion though, as he only needs the enemy in 2 hexes, and can affect an infinite number of characters. Calgar can only buff the characters exactly next to him. Then again, it also applies to special attacks, making it more flexible in application. This is a great buff, and especially for characters with a lot of hits can be quite formidable, like Rivers or Bellator, who will more than double their attacking power in combination with them, and for example Ragnar, who will excel with the extra damage. So, where to use Calgar? Back in the day, we would use him for guild raids, as a potent buffer and to remove the adds from a battle with his active. In the current guild raid teams he has been outpaced most of the time by more specialized buffers like Dante or Trajan, but with the ability to buff even special attacks and the sheer numbers, he is quite formidable to help you when you need extra damage for missions and can especially be useful to fulfill Mythic Missions. He, of course, also is quite durable in his own right, and with the added damage and an Isabella at his back, can be a fantastic asset in horde modes. Especially in survival, where he can potentially use his active multiple times, only his average speed holds him back. For legendary events, he fits well in Isabella's Turtle, where he shares her melee only and bolter traits, ensuring regular combinations. Max 2 hits is the only hit-related quality that is even slightly rarer at 37 characters without Chaos and 32 without Xenos. The addition of Crushing Strike helps Calgar greatly, adding him as the 5th character without Xenos, making this restriction possible as well as including him as the 6th character in without Chaos tracks. Although whether to include him there will be a toss-up, as all characters with it are good tanks. Final Vengeance is also quite rare at 11 and 9 characters respectively. Other than Terminator, which can already happen, Gravis only features 3 characters and won't show up anytime soon. Power is nothing special, and Bolter already has a good amount of characters too. In the Imperial campaigns, he can be a tenacious ally which can help you remove a lot of weaker enemies at once, which makes him a great help there if you already build him. I wouldn't necessarily build him especially for that, as damage dealers as Karian or good summoners like Tan are just faster at mopping up all kinds of enemies to ensure lightning victory, and are faster in movement at that. I like Calgar's little glow up. It's nothing major and doesn't change the way he plays, but his lack of melee power seemed almost comical before, whereas now he can at least somewhat throw a punch. In legendary events you often stand still anyways, where his Crushing Strike will additionally help. Will this be enough to give him a second life? I doubt it. This doesn't change his role after all. He is a great buff character with a lot of staying power that sadly has been outpaced for specialized teams, but can apply his buff in such a broad fashion that he'll often be the first character you go to for when you're looking to enhance your damage of a specific character for missions. Both his abilities are great and have their own uses, but a focus on a passive will help you in your day-to-day gameplay most. Were you surprised by the buff? What do you like most about Calgar? Let me know in the comments. Before we continue with the mythical missions, if you like this video so far, be sure to subscribe to my channel for future content. You can really help me out in game by using my referral code BAD60edu for 100 Blackstone for you and various rewards for me, and if you liked my video enough to share it with some friends, that would really help out the channel. As there's no relic for Calgar yet, we can immediately skip to the Mythic Missions. I wonder what his relic will be, as of course the Gauntlets of Ultramar would make sense, but are already his ability. At least for Mephiston's Vitaris, the name wasn't anywhere before. Do you have any good ideas? Mythic 1 needs you to defeat 18 enemies with Calgar in one turn. This will be easiest done in any Octarius mirror level, where you can just let him get swarmed by Grots and then trigger the active. Be sure to leave no hex and 2 hexes around him empty. The Grots will only slightly tickle him through his thick armor, so don't worry too much about him. You need to go to a level with more than just Grots, as those only reproduce up to 15 of them. Onslaught can also help, but beware the Tyrannid's high hit count dragging you down. Mission 2 needs 50,000 damage And as a character that's not a damage dealer himself, that might be harder to do. If you'd hit 18 enemies with that, you'd need 2777 damage per foe, which could work out in very high onslaught levels. But to be honest, this probably works best in Arena. The problem is that even with the new buff, Calgar's normal attacks just lacks the damage to go up to 50,000, and as it was smaller before, this clearly pushes you in the direction of using his active. This will in any case need buffers of his own or a very high active, because at level 44, with the maximum amount of enemies around him, with the 24 hits he does, he would exactly hit 53,112 damage. But this wouldn't take armor into account. Quads get always hit with one fewer hit, so you would only get roughly 40,000 damage. They don't have armor, but this isn't enough, and you will barely find such high leveled quads outside of Arena, where you'd need to hit more enemies outside of them. Overkilling 100 enemies should go by fast with his active. Defeating one enemy with the immune trait is kind of mean, as you wouldn't normally bring Calgar to a guild raid, especially not to deal the finishing blow. This is still easily done in early guild raid bosses and side bosses, especially if you buff him some. You can also do this in the Tyranid campaign event's last level. Lastly, it's down to dealing 100,000 damage in total, which will take time but is manageable. That's it from me today. Calgar is still a cool character and deserves the legendary moniker. Especially early on, when you still don't have all characters for a guild raid team, I could see people use him still. On screen you can see some more of my videos. I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.